Hello and a very warm welcome to the Big Carp News Podcast. I'm your host Joel Harbour and I'm delighted to be bringing you a number of podcasts over the coming months. We'll be talking all things carpy right here in the USA, everything from the history of carp angling right up to current times and absolutely everything in between. So whether you're out on the road or on a session waiting for a fish or just relaxing in the comfort of your own home, grab yourself a drink, take the weight off and sit back as I'm delighted to connect you with a number of guests right here on the Big Carp News Podcast. Our next guest is known all over for his outreach to anglers new to the world of carp. He's not only known in his local community, but throughout many states all over the US, and is referred to as a legend, mentor, and top carp angler by many. His dedication, passion, and countless hours spent giving back to the carp angling community by way of the Carp Anglers Group is admired by many. From pioneering huge waters for carp to designing custom-built rods, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Gilbert Huxley. I got talking with a couple of guys and a few of them suggested that you would be a great person to have on just because of your history in the carp scene in the US.
Oh, yes. It's been a big passion of mine for many years.
Now, it's one thing I do enjoy to find out is, how it all began for the individual angler. So yourself, I think I read over a while back on one of the directors' pages. Obviously, you're quite a big part of the I forget what it was now. I think it was one of the Wild Carp Club. Are you still part of that?
Well, that Wild Carp Club sort of went down and under.
Okay.
Carp Anglers Group was where I really was strong in.
Now, obviously, before all that, you were carp angling before all CAG and everything as well, right?
Well, yes, not for very long before that, though. I was a pay laker.
Okay, that's an interesting subject in itself, isn't it?
Yes, I caught one in the wild catfishing, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm a catch and release anyway. And when I caught this 10-pound carp, I thought it was a 20-pound cat. It fought so hard, comparing to a catfish. So when I brought it to the surface, that was the last thing. I never fished for anything else again after that.
Isn't that funny how it changes you? One fish like that, and it was on. That was it.
It was instant. I started, and then when the computer age started, and then I found Carp Anglers Group. Actually, Carp are us out of the UK.
I know that branch of the Carp are us guys.
Well, that was the first one I joined, and one of the guys there was a member of Carp Anglers Group, and he told me that I needed to go ahead and join that club because they were talking way over my head because I was a brand new carper other than, in a pay lake. But they were talking about doubles and, and stuff like, I'm like, what the heck are these guys talking about?
Right.
But now I can talk with them 100%.
That's fantastic. But I mean, now, before your time with CAG and any other groups that you've obviously been part of, how did your angling or fishing in general start? Like, obviously from a young age, or
my mom used to take me catfishing and bluegill fishing and stuff, and never really knew anything about the carp until that first one that I hooked, and I knew it was a carp, but I had never ever caught one or tried to catch one. So that was many, many years ago, and then it would become an addiction, of course, a passion for me. But it was really the pay lake is where I really got the start. Even though the first fish I caught was in the wild, but everybody snickered and made faces at me and went ahead and always kidded me about being a carp fisherman here in the United States. So I dealt with that, but I joined the pay lakes, and I was there for 11 years. And I got tired of the rule changes. Tell me what I could use in my bait and what I could not do and what I could do. And I thought, hold it here. I'm an angler, and that's one of the things about being a good angler is different than everybody. But they always try to get everybody to look the same and do the same and catch those sorry fish. I really feel sorry for those fish also, because
I think a lot of people feel the same. Yeah. I mean, it's a different side aspect of fishing, isn't it? The pay lake stuff. I mean,
yes, it is. It's all about money. It's about the jugs. It's about the big money and everything, which is fine. And I'm not going down, because that's
no. Again, I for me and for other anglers, I think there's a big opportunity to maybe just even not necessarily change what they're doing, but help them grow, but in a safe way to protect the fish, like we do, obviously.
Yes,
I think there's a room for improvement, isn't there?
Here in Indiana, Joel, that do take that step. Indy Lakes, you got to have a landing mat. You got to have a waist sling. A lot of the other pay lakes are requiring landing mats, but there's a couple still the same syndrome with, they got a carp caddy that you turn the carp upside down and put their face in it and carry it to the bait house, without any kind of a support or anything, just right on their heads. But, that's the step, because before they were carrying them in the gills to the bait house.
Yes, right.
And so put them in that carp caddy is a little better step than carrying them by the gills. But they've come a long ways. But the rule change is what drove me out of the pay lakes, and I went to the wild and never went back. Never been back to a pay lake in all these years.
Blimey. What a thing, huh? Now, obviously the difference is in tactics. Do you still continue to use the same pay lake tactics that you do now in the wild, or have you changed everything over altogether?
Oh, I've changed over to Euro 100%.
Full Euro, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there are some carpers at the pay lakes that use the Euro gear, but their intentions are totally different. They're after the money. Yeah. I'm after finding them, holding them, and catching them in the wild, and that's the thrill for me. It's not the money.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, obviously, have you done quite a lot of traveling over the US, different states for your fishing, haven't you? I think I remember reading something somewhere you've done quite a bit.
Yes, I have. I've been all over the United States with buddies of mine and stuff. Rick Slinker, the two-time national champion here in the United States, him and I are really good friends. We traveled quite a bit. We went to Texas 7 years straight for the team championship down there. We've been to New York. All the surrounding states, Indiana, and Tennessee, and everywhere. We've gone everywhere where there may be any kind of an avenue for carp fishing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, like going from like pay lake angling, tournament stuff, is that a big thing for you personally? Like the tournament scene, you like doing that still?
I love tournaments.
Yeah.
And, being the COVID-19, there was none this year.
Right.
And so it really took a big chunk of my desire to get out there and be in a competition. But next year it'll start new again. But tournaments are really the highlight of wild carping here in the United States. And a lot of the guys have done some fine jobs holding these tournaments and some good prizes. And, in New York, $10,000 for a big fish. Yeah, right. And then $10,000 for the top four. And it's a lot of money involved in the wild carping if you go to the right tournaments.
Yeah.
Of course, they got some pretty hefty entry fees too.
I noticed that over the years. I used to take part in a couple of the Baldwinsville events when they were really first kicked off, on the Seneca River, and obviously it's taken a big change in direction in terms of not only, like you just mentioned, the entry fees they're quite substantial, aren't they?
They are. For a team of two, it's $900, and I think it's gone up since even more than that. And it's 76 hours now.
Continuous, right?
Baldwinsville tournament in the spring is 76 hours long.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I used to dabble in it when I've fished with a number of different anglers, but for me now, that's a lot of fishing, isn't it? For a tournament. I mean, how do you find that? You enjoy it?
I found it very exhausting for a 70-year-old man.
Right.
Back in my younger days, I went in stride, and you got a teammate, and you got to think about rest, or you're not going to finish in that last 12 hours. Now, but see, the 76-hour Baldwinsville tournament has just been done this for, I think, the last 2 years.
Okay.
But before was, I can't really dictate how long, but it was more like 50 hours, 48 hours, something like that.
Got you.
And that's very enjoyable. But the 76 hours, I was up there last year just to be there when they were having the tournament. I wasn't in the tournament. And those young fellows were coming back totally wasted. I mean, we let them come to our campsite, and they come straight to the campsite and crash for like 18 hours.
They're done.
They're exhausted. I mean, these are young anglers.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 30s.
Yeah,
so
it takes a lot out of you. Absolutely.
I don't have that in me any longer to do that kind of fishing that long a time, you know.
But it's physically demanding, but it's mentally as well, isn't it? For a lot of guys, it's a big mental part.
Very mental, and you better be with somebody who you really respect and like, because you will be on each other's nerves badly.
One of you end up swimming.
You got to tolerate that, and you got to live with that if you want to win. And it's good to have a good friend that knows when things are down, that you're going to say things and be snippy and stuff like that. But yeah, when you get tired, it really puts a change in the tournament.
Yeah, it can definitely make things, like you said, almost cutthroat between partners. You know, when you enter into something like that, you're very good friends, you're buddy. By the end of it, everything could be completely opposite way, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could land that. And I've known of anglers that's had that problem, but right. I've never had any problems with any of one of my teammates in any of these tournaments like that. We pretty well get along pretty good.
Yeah, I think you got to find, like you said, you've got to find that one guy or those few guys that you just work well with, haven't you? And bounce things off of each other and bait tactics and stuff like that.
Don't take anything personal during the entire time.
No, you can't. I don't think you can. Like you said, I think one of you, probably one of you end up being swimming or something.
But, the thing about it is the tournaments are fine, but, locally here in Indiana, Stan Geigel, he was the dean of Ball State University, and myself started Hoosier Carpers.
I was going to ask you about that and how all that's going. It's grown over the years, hasn't it?
It's still, it put it this way, it started out me doing shows at the boat show and doing seminars about carp fishing. And for doing the seminars, I got a booth for free. And I did that for about 9 to 10 years straight. So that's how, and we were doing entry, trying to get people to join Carp Anglers Group. And if they
so you kind of merge the two together almost, that makes, that's great. Yeah.
If you joined TAG, you were automatically a Hoosier Carper.
There you go. Right.
And I always had something to give away to anyone who joined at the show, either a 12-foot rod or a rod pod or something nice that they go, my $20 and I'm going to spend win that.
That's it. There you go.
It really brought in.
Well, it gave them that incentive, doesn't it? It's that little incentive.
And you need that nowadays.
I think
you need an incentive for the money. They just don't want to put down $20 and not get nothing for it.
Yeah.
So the thing is that after 5 years, Hoosier Carpers became 190 strong.
Jeez.
And they stayed that way for about 8 years. Then when I sort of stepped down out of that, because that's a lot of work, I turned it over to the younger folks, and there's been some great people that worked hard. It's come down quite a bit, probably under 100, but they're still active. James Sanders, the state chairman for CAG, is a Hoosier Carper,
right.
And he has tournaments at a Westlake Apartments where he works. And there's numerous 20s in there, and it's a hard lake.
Yeah.
It's a tough lake to get fish, so it becomes a real challenge at that lake.
I'm sure it does, because over time, the more it gets fished, I know what it's like coming from the UK waters, and more of those fish get fished for, they clue up, they get very smart.
They do.
It gets harder and harder and harder. A
lot of people think I'm full of baloney when I say that, but they are very smart, and they know for a fact that when the fish are biting, they're biting.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. If they're not, they're not. But a lot of people think that I've got some secret, or no, it's no secret. Just long time fishing for the same species, is where it all came from.
Yeah.
Now, and then another thing is that when I became the treasurer of Carp Anglers Group, I did that for 4 years with David Moore as the president. And then he stepped down and someone took over, and I kept doing it. I did it for 4 years. And that's where I really got to know the United States and the anglers, that there's some great anglers here in the United States.
Absolutely.
And the passion that I was having, I found out there's many, many anglers with the same deep passion for carp fishing as I have.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me, because I've always been by myself, getting laughed at, getting snickered at. And then to find all these people that were going through the same thing that I was really, really pleasing. And I'll never look back. Carp Anglers Group has been a big part of my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really great to know. And obviously you've given it a lot back as well. Obviously it's given you something, but you've put a lot back into it, haven't you? So
yes, I have, with all the zealous and energy that I can use, and a lot of money too. I spent a lot of money to promote carp fishing back in the day. When I got married, that sort of stopped. No money on carp, but
except from tackle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have another boss, Not my working boss, my other boss, the main boss.
Right. Yeah. Now, obviously, aside from the fishing, it's obviously a huge part of your life, and you love doing it. But what else do you get your hands into? Are you're retired?
Yeah, I'm retired. 30 years in the gasoline business.
Wow.
I did very well there. I made a good retirement. But I drive right now for Enterprise, which is a rent-a-car company.
Right.
And I drive cars all over the states, moving cars for them and getting fresh cars out. But that's just so I won't be sitting in this carp room here that I got and just getting old and dying, and tying rigs. I must have so many rigs. You wouldn't believe I got 400 rigs tied. And I'm not kidding either.
No, I do believe it. For the listeners here, I'm looking at Gil on the camera here, and for those of you that can't see, I can see a little bit of a backdrop in his room, and it looks like a very carpy den that you got going on there, Gil.
Yep, there's Fox.
Yeah.
The State of Plum, and then
Beautiful. Blimey, look at all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures on the wall.
Yeah, it's got to be done though, isn't it? Got to be done.
Yeah, it's got to be. And you can't see this here. I'll turn the light over there, but there's all that there.
Line. Look at all those, man. So you got a lot of trophies there. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those?
Yeah, Hoosier Carpers. We had a tournament trail, which went each month. We had it in different places of Indiana. And it was 6 of them. And we had the Tournament Trail Championship, which was the winner of each one would get together and be the grand champion. We did that. We probably did that, a good 10, 11 years. And James Dolan, the owner of the old West Side Bait, he was the coordinator and sponsor of Hoosier Carpers. And wow, with him behind us, we really grew. We were having 110 people showing up for these tournaments.
As entrants, to enter into it. Wow.
Yeah, $20, it was cheap. And
that's a big turnout, isn't it, for such a small outlet, kind of,
Yes.
Blimey.
Yes.
And how long did that go on for? How long did
about 10 years. And it got to the point where it was getting a little strenuous on Jim and on the coordinators because it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know the one that I won, one of them, the main or the biggest one they had. I won that one, and it was 110 anglers. And and boy, that's big as Baldwinsville. They have 52 teams with 2 people on it. That's 100 anglers there. So although Indiana had 110 on the White River downtown Indianapolis.
It's something to think about. It really gives you paints a picture, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Indiana was really growing and has stayed growing. And I would say that, I'm not patting myself on the back, but Indiana's probably got the largest amount of carp anglers that are out and top in front of the public. Right. The pay lakers and the wild carpers. Everybody here, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I've heard about you guys," or they'll come up walking on me and go, "Oh yeah, I've heard about this gear."
Yeah,
and before they go, "What are you fishing for?" And I say, "Oh, monster carp." They go, yeah. "Oh, are you kidding?" And they go crazy about it.
Have you ever had that happen where a bypass has gone by you guys while on the river and you've said, "Here, take this rod," and hand them a rod and how does that work out?
And I've hooked some people that on carp fishing because of that.
And they're still going now, probably, right? Yeah.
I used to carry around bank sticks with alarms on them. And I used to call it a bank stick with a brain. So, and I would give those out to anyone that I really thought that they would go freaky over it. Yeah. Pick up the sport of carp fishing, which there has been many still today with full-blown outfits now. They start out with one bank stick and an alarm that I gave them. Now they're fully blown out with Eurogear.
Jeez. It's just the way it's going, though. The growth of the sport here, obviously in the US, is still it's growing. It's probably, I'm sure you've seen it grow over the years since you started doing it.
Always the point, Joel, that I had my own rods.
That was actually my next kind of little topic I wanted to talk to you about. And I know you spent quite a lot of time building hand-built rods, right? Carp rods.
Gilbert Huxley Signature Series. That was the first rod, and then the Gilbert Huxley Pro Series. Right. And both of them sold out. And I had a lifetime guarantee on them, and I've only had 0.001% come back. They were top quality rods, could throw a big old pack bait a mile.
I believe
they were 3.5, but they were made out of Toray carbon fiber, the same stuff they make out of golf clubs. Yeah. And it was the first time that fiber has ever been used, but it really made a powerful, indestructible, stiff rod. There's no finesse, and it was nothing but a ball chunker. But no, everybody wanted those because they were indestructible, and you could actually toss just like the Free Spirits. I could toss a 5-pound toaster with them. Right. I really could, just lightly, but pick it up to sort of give it a little boost.
Now, for the rod building side of it, there's quite a lot of technical things that go into that. I've even kind of dabbled in simple stuff, eye replacements and whatnot myself. But how did all that kind of begin for you in terms of the rod building and stuff like that?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Joel, is that I designed the rod, both rods, and I had a company build them for me.
Right.
Here in Indiana, there was a rod maker, and he made musky rods, which is a nice sturdy rod, and I forget the name of it, but it was a well-named musky rod. But and they made 2,000 of the Huxley Signature Series, and I sold out of those in about 11 months. That's how fast they went. So then I did 1,000 of the Huxley Pro Series, and they were gone before I could even get them going. But the Pro Series was a lighter rod.
Right.
And was more finesse rod.
Okay.
They gave play. You could fight the fish better and everything. But the Signature Series was just a power rod. But that's the only rod I use because I can, for an old man, I need every bit of help I can.
There you go.
And it's chunk the ball way out there,
And are you still using those rods today? Yeah.
Oh, yes, 100%. I've got a set of my own of 13s and a set of my own on 12s on both rods. I don't go fishing a lot. I'm going this weekend because it's getting close to the end of the year, and the big fish are chomping down right now, getting ready for the winter. So we're going to a new space, a young pay laker. I took him out of the pay lakes, and he loves carp fishing in the wild. And his name's Thomas Kessler. And we're going to go out and hit the banks this weekend for a couple days.
Nice.
See if we can drum up a new swim that I had found.
Is that out? Are you going out of state for that? Or are you staying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how I do it.
Good stuff. I won't ask for too much more info. I know you like to keep things on the down low.
Yeah, you have to at this age.
It's unfortunate. Have you had much problems with that in terms of kind of sharing swims and then or spots on lakes and waters and stuff like that, and
I've had a few people really mad at me. I'm the one who found Del Hollow in the United States. I know you've heard of Del Hollow.
Oh, I fished it myself. Yeah,
and I was the one who found that lake that had those big mirrors.
Yeah,
I took my wife on a houseboat trip, my kids, and they were adults with kids. And a buddy of mine said, I wasn't going to take no fishing gear. This was going to be family, houseboat trip, family, swimming. And a buddy of mine said, Gilbert, you got to take your rods. That's the smallmouth capital of the world.
Yeah, it's big bass place.
Got to have big carp too.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that those fully scaled mirrors was like every catch, and to get a common was the rare thing there at Del Hollow. And every fish fully scaled mirror, and then you get a regular mirror like the people in the UK, with just one stripe and everything.
Like the linear scale patterns, isn't it? Yeah. What a fantastic place it is now. Obviously, you spent a lot of time on there, though, haven't you? I mean,
I did 17 years straight. Me and Rick Slinker, a trip every spring and every fall for 17 years. And then Rick Slinker, Jeff Skelton, and myself started Carp R Us, which is a guiding system.
Sure.
And Rick Slinker and Mr. Jeff Skelton runs that business now.
Got you. Okay.
And so they do guided trips out on the islands, and they've gotten many 40s from those trips.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a water that it's not. I mean, I've fished it myself. I've had some good fish from there, and it's a pleasure to fish it. The views are something else, aren't they? Yeah. Just the lay of the land down there is something else, isn't it? It's quite.
In 17 years, I've only got the 140, the 41.2, but then I got 37 30s, over 30, out of that lake in 17 years. So, before Del Hollow, I had 130. And then when I found Del Hollow, it all changed, 37 30s and a 40, a dream of a lifetime. And then I know of 5 40s that's been caught on these trips that we did. So beautiful.
It's obviously a place that's, close to your heart and in regards to finding a place and kind of fishing it and capturing from it. It's quite a big thing, isn't it, to do that? I mean, it's.
Well, doing it 17 years straight and then coming to the realization that physically I'm not able to go out on these islands and stay a week. I can remember trips where the young guys were saying, oh, man, I'm ready to go home. And I'm thinking, what? I'm going to stay longer.
We're just getting started,
And each year went by. It just sort of started shaving off. And last fall, was my last trip to Del Hollow out to the islands.
Really? Okay.
because it's just too much. And, it wasn't fun. It's too much pain, just the body just can't do it.
That's understandable, though. But now you're still able to get there and fish it from the bank or the houseboats?
Yeah.
What's the plan with that?
Cove Creek, Kenham Ford and Cove Creek. And you were asking about giving up, sharing swims. You wouldn't believe the people that got mad at me for sharing Del Hollow.
I believe it.
Oh, my goodness. I lost a couple of close friends that thought I shouldn't have done that. And they cut ties with me because of the way I like to share new swims. And that's not the only one that I've shared that made people mad and stuff. But, I don't know why it is, but I got to share that.
I think the important part about that is that, that it's one of those sportsmen. I hate to kind of say it in a weird way like that, but I know a few listeners to the podcast will kind of grit their teeth about it or whatever you want to call it. But it's part of being a carp angler. You either, like you said, you either share it to the masses and people go there and enjoy it for what it is, or you don't say anything about it at all. And the fact that you've shared that, with other anglers to enjoy that experience is, at some point, I'm sure it would have been found and someone would have come across it. But I mean, it's quite a thing to do, to kind of say, all right, well, we come across this place, fantastic fish, and here you go, have at it.
Good way to share it. I mean, and even with all the people saying, think about this, Gilbert, you're going to go to one of your favorite swims and someone's going to be there. And I said, then that's my fault for not being on time. The way I looked at it, if I share a place and I can't beat them there, then shame on me.
Yeah, that's a good outlook. I think it should be looked at like that across all aspects of carp angling.
Sharing a swim, to me, is a part of the passion that is within me, because I want people to feel and feel that exhilaration when you catch a beautiful fish like a carp. And to go to Del Hollow and God's countries and trees to the skies, and you're on an island, and there's you just can't go home. You got to take a boat home and then go home. and to share that I had immense joy whenever I share a swim and they produce the fish and make someone's day or a dream come true. And I really believe I've made a lot of people's dreams come true with that place.
Oh, I believe you with that. Yeah. I mean, there's guys now that, some very well-known anglers from across in England, Steve Briggs and Joan. They come over. They're great people, and they fished it. And even Alex and Carl, I think I mentioned it before to a couple of anglers. There's been guys that have gone there and fished it just to fish it because they've heard about it. Obviously, kept it off the radar from other people, but it's just a place now. It's just like one of those go-to places in the US, isn't it? It's just become that.
A lot of people can't afford that trip, and actually, you can do a shoestring budget and make that trip and be on the bank. Now, to go out to the islands, you've got a lot of money involved going out there. You got boats and rental fees and all that stuff. But once you get on the islands, you forget about all that money that you spend to get out there because it's so beautiful. And if you do the right things right, you're going to get the right fish.
Oh, you're going to catch on it, yeah.
You might say, And so a lot of people ask me, do you eat the carp? And I'll say, no, if I want to eat fish, I go to Kroger. I don't. I go to the store to get my fish. I don't eat fish. So,
do you do any other kind of fishing now, though? I mean, obviously, you mentioned that you used to, as a boy or when you started getting into it, did catfishing and stuff like that. Do you do any of that anymore, or are you full on carp fishing?
No, I have no desire to even. We got a standing joke here in Indiana. When we're in tournaments, if you're fishing a carp tournament and you catch a carp or catch a catfish, it's -1 on your number. So it's a joke, but I always say that's -1. You got to catch 2 more to get 1.
Yeah, right.
but that's how we look at it. But no, I have no desire to fish for anything else except for the carp. I mean, the sport. I mean, the power. I always say that in my seminars is the power is what got the addiction going, and then after that, the passion kicked in, and the addiction is when you're walking through the stores trying to buy bait. There's an addiction. And then the passion is actually going out and doing all the work and getting ready to catch those fish. But they work hand in hand. And
absolutely.
I've said there's not too much difference between passion and addiction when it comes to carp fishing. It's a fine line. They're both right there. And the addiction it can be bad. People don't watch it. They spend too much money. And then of course the passion, that's whatever you have inside you, and carp fishing is a big, big part of my life, has been for a long time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people definitely agree with you on that. It's one of those things, and recently I've kind of looked at it more in that respect. It's more of a lifestyle, isn't it? Some people don't see it like that, and it's just a fun thing, and it definitely needs to continue to be a fun sport. But I think for some people, it's very much a lifestyle, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I love the way they, like Alex and that young fellows, they love the catching just one carp in a 3-day session. To me, that's slow.
Right.
Here in the United States in 3 days, I want 30. I want 30 fish. And you can catch that with these virgin carp over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I really respect the overseas anglers and all these lakes. I'd love to go over there and fish some of those lakes, but I think it'd drive me nuts to sit there for 3 days.
It might do that. It's a different. It really is something different. Yeah.
Oh, that makes a true angler, though. That if you still got passion after waiting 3 days, then it's never going to go away.
Yeah, it's a whole nother side of the coin. I think Gilbert, over there than it is here. It's just. I mean, for me, I think we're going to do another podcast on it at some point and talk and get a UK angler that's fished in the US, but that's got some really good insight as to both sides of that coin. What it's like here in the US versus what it's really like over in the UK, and kind of open up a few anglers' eyes to the differences that that there's in the carp industry. People don't realise how much time goes into. Fishing for some of those fish in the UK, but then it's the same here. There's waters here that are just as hard. Cracking them open, what bait is right, what rig is right. I mean, was that for you when you got into it? And you said you started learning through CAG and stuff like that. Did you learn a lot of rigs through CAG, or was that just kind of looking online and stuff like that?
No, I learned all my rigs through things off the UK sites.
Yeah. Okay.
And Marshall Burba is one of my partners. That young fellow can tie every single rig there is. Any new rigs that come up on videos, he'll have it the next time we go out. He's mastered it. And his rigs catch fish when there ain't nobody else catching them. And, and it's stuff that he's picked up on the UK sites and the videos. Yeah. So we always have got our ears and eyes open for anything from overseas, because that is where it started. That's where the Ural gear and all the carp fishing, the passion and taking care of them and knowing the quality of that sport fish came from overseas. Over here, it was a different animal. They were brought here after the Civil War by General Grant, the common carp, to feed the United States after the Civil War. But freeze drying came in after the war, World War II, and no longer was the carp needed as a food source. And that's where they sort of took over all our waterways and rivers and lakes and stuff. Where you're over there, where you're at, they're managed so well that they're not going to take over anything, and even if it did, you'd love it. But over here, the American people, they think they got to throw them up on the banks. They got to shoot them with arrows and all that stuff. And I keep telling people, let the DNR do their job. You as an individual are never going to put a dent in the carp population. So don't keep
no way.
These fish for no reason. And, that's not even their job. But I think a lot of people have heard me.
Yeah.
And I've really started thinking about it. And I don't see so many fish on the banks anymore like I used to back 20 years ago. Yeah, it's slacked up quite a bit. But they got other fish like the Asian carp, the big head carp.
Right, absolutely.
That we got to worry about, not the common.
Well, that's it. And I think there's that huge misconception, isn't there, between the two? And I think it confuses people a lot, doesn't it?
Silver carp are going to wipe out our waterways, all game fish, if we allow them to grow and populate as big as they can. They're already in our rivers in thousands jumping out of the water when you go down the river in a boat.
Yeah.
And you can't catch a catfish in that area. You can't catch a bluegill. They're all gone. They're all eaten.
I was going to say, is that because these silver carp, they're dominating the spawn, the eggs, right? They're just scoffing them.
Everything.
Yeah.
They eat everything and anything. Roots. They kill all the vegetation. They kill all the roe. They just take over. And in 5 years, that river will be gone for any other population. Yeah. Now, the DNR has been working on a thing called the BioBullet, which is a microscopic gel that they put in the water, and the silver carp and all other fish ingest it. It is targeting the DNA of the silver carp to make them sterile, so that in 5 years, they're gone. I mean,
is that something that's in circulation now? Is that happening now? Are they doing tests on that you know of, or is that just a plan?
I talk to DNR regularly every year.
Yeah.
And they did have some problems in the lab. It worked perfectly, but in the wild, it caused some other fish, not the common carp, but some other sauger. A sauger went dormant and went sterile. There was a few other fish that went sterile and by mistake, but this is all under controlled situations. Yeah, but in the lab, but they are saying that right now the electric fences are stopping them from getting into Lake Michigan. So there's DNA been found of the silver carp in Lake Michigan, but that don't mean the carp are there.
No, it could have just transferred through the water column, couldn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
It's been stopping them, but they don't think that's going to be very long. Pretty soon they're just going to bull rush it. They're going to be, the numbers are going to be so big, they'll just bull rush it, go right through it, and then Lake Michigan and all the other Great Lakes will be infected too.
So I mean, when you think about it in that respect, it's some serious danger, isn't it? Just not like you said, not just the carp, but other species also, and people's lifestyles as well. I mean, that could change a lot of people's life, couldn't it, for a long, long time?
Yeah, our children will not know the joy that there used to be in fishing if these fish are allowed to live. There won't be any bluegills. There won't be no crappies. They'll be all gone in 10 to 20 years. Adorable.
Yeah, well, let's hope they get to figure that out.
Yeah, so they're working on it, and those doctors and the researchers in the DNR are fine people, and they have just coming up with the BioBullet was one thing. To perfect it is what they're doing now.
Got you.
Good news.
Oh, I mean, like you said, it's a very positive thing, isn't it, in the industry? I think it's definitely clearly something that's needed to be done because, like you said, the mass growth of them is just, the numbers is just completely demolishing everything else that's there for them.
Well, I hate to use this as a tool, but at the boat shows, my seminars, I try to change them up a little bit so people ever come in every year, they don't hear the same thing. Well, it got me repertory, and my crowd started dying out.
Yeah.
But then I started following the silver carp and what the DNR, and all I had to do was mention that I had some news about the silver carp, and buddy, my audience would be full.
Back up.
And they would listen to my presentation about the common and the mirror and the leather and the toy, you know.
Now, how did going and talking on the subject of the conferences and these stands that you'd put together, how did all that kind of come about? Was that through CAG as well, or was that something separate?
That was something separate at first, but it all tied into CAG. Yeah. The first 2 years I paid for the booth myself, which was $500. Then after that, after I'd gotten a few members for CAG, they sponsored it. They paid for half of it, which was good. And that's what I was telling you about how much money I used to spend on promoting Carp. It got pretty expensive. But CAG took 50% of that. And in about the 5th year, I went to the owner and I asked him, I said, I heard you needed some speakers up on stage. And I'm a carp fisherman. He just ravished the idea of having a carp fisherman up on stage. And they even started putting carp in the hog trough.
Oh, got you. Okay. On display, like to show the fish, yeah?
Type thing. Never once they ever have a carp until that year I spoke. And they put a 30-pounder in there. And now every year there's 2 or 3 15-pounders in there. But, you know, having that and speaking up that, up into that seminars, I got the booth free then. I do 5 seminars in the 10-day show, and then the booth was free. And at the very, very ending of that, Wild Carp Company took over the booth, and that's all I wanted was somebody there about carp.
Yeah.
And I started getting paid for doing seminars at the show.
Right.
Cash money. And I would use that money to buy different things to give away to new anglers.
So it kind of all really trickled and went back right into the carp scene anyway. So it's not.
Yes, it did. Yes.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
You hand a 10-year-old with a bank stick and an alarm. Oh my goodness! It's like
it's joy like Christmas, isn't it? Yeah.
How they work and stuff. And I've had parents call me and say, "Tell me more about this. My kid has gone nuts over it." And I love talking to people like that too.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll probably, agree with it, especially down your way. A lot of youngsters that love getting out and fishing, but it's the next stage, isn't it? That next generation, getting them starting young in the sport and enjoying it and being outdoors. And it's part of it, isn't it, really? And it's the only way to really get that exposure out there.
Well, I've noticed that a lot of my new carpers never went to the pay lakes.
Oh, okay.
Straight to the wild. Marshall Burba is one. He's a big name here in the United States. He went from hearing about carp fishing straight to the Ural. And there's been many of them like that. And so, I came through the pay lake style, the styles, just different. Yeah. But he never had to be exposed to that. So a lot of the new anglers are not coming from the pay lakes, because pay lakes for money, wild carpers is for the passion and catching that big fish.
Yeah, right.
Got nothing to do with money. It's the passion. So people nowadays are growing that passion before they even find the pay lake, which I like.
I think it's the way to go. In my mind, I'm sure everyone will agree with that.
Yes. I've had some joyous times with some young folks and see the thrill and everything in their eyes and their actions and the enthusiasm they have. I can remember those days, and I see a lot of me in them,
right.
But they don't have to do the battle that I had to do with all the people laughing at me and making fun.
People get it now,
No one's ever laughed at me, Gilbert. And I say, well, good.
Yeah.
At least you don't have to go through all that,
Yeah, well, I think that's part of it now with, the progression of carp angling in the US. It's starting to really grab a lot of people's attention, and it's building that, people are understanding that there's more to it than just throwing out a line and, like you said, just kind of making money off of it in the pay lakes or whatever it might be. But there's more to it than that, isn't there? Now it's a lot bigger.
Yeah, and the gear's got a lot to do with it. You know, the Euro gear. I keep saying Euro gear.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. They see that and their eyes get real big, and oh my, what is that? You know, and now after about 10 years of this gear being so strong here, people already know, oh, I've seen that on TV. Yeah. I know what that is. They're not even carp anglers.
No, that's it.
Just regular people. And they go, I know what that is. That's for carp fishing. And it just tickles my heart when they recognize carp fishing gear. You know, it's changed so much over the years.
It's funny to hear it because obviously you're, you know, center of the country almost, you know, within reason, kind of a little bit off to the side. But I'm all the way over in Connecticut, and then you got people that are also all the way over in California. Yeah. And it's so funny that even there's so many areas across the US that are spread out in all the different states. Even then, when you get around, like I've been out fishing, and I've had someone come through from another state, and they've seen me fishing. They've been like, well, oh, I know what you're doing. You're fishing for carp, right? And yeah. So people just know now. It's like one of those things. It's kind of the new normal, really. You know, everyone's out there doing it.
It really is. And so, you know what's wild about it, though, Joel, is that, as you can tell, I love talking about carp fishing.
Oh,
and when they start asking me questions, oh, Mr. Demo is out. You know, they call me Mr. Demo because I'll show them what everything does, how we tie a rig, the hair rig. And, you know, I get a lot of big responses with the hair rig. People have never seen anything like that, you know, and the gear is one thing, but that hair rig really grasps a lot of attention from the older angler, especially. They go,
a lot of people are just so used to putting a bait on physically on a hook, aren't they? What was your take on that when you saw a hair rig?
I just drawed it on the board, on the bulletin board. He goes, hair rig? I said, yeah, and I drew it right on the hair rig. And he goes, imagine that. No bait, no worm on the hook. I said, no, put the worm on the hair, on the little string with the bait stop. You know,
what was your kind of first initial take on it when you first saw a hair rig set up? You know, with the bait suspended below the hook like that. What was your thought about it? What was your take on it?
You know, I would put a size 4 hook inside of a dough ball with no weight on the line at all, and just have a droppy line and wait for the bump, and then yank on the pull.
Set the hook, yeah.
When I found the hair rig and the alarms, I adjusted to the alarms and the rigs, you know, and the rod pods and stuff. But I didn't change to the hair rig until after I got proven wrong a few times with some of my buddies that jumped right in and started using it. And I said, well, I got to get some of this action. So the hair rig got it introduced a little slower than the rest of the gear.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm so used to burying a hook and had to do the old Kentucky swing, you know, on it, trying to get that hook through that weedy ball. You know?
Yeah, you got to really give it some, haven't you? Oh, yeah, you got to give it some to get it through that. I mean, I've seen some of the, you know, the Southern Pale Lake stuff, and I tell you, to get my, you know, as a, like you call it, as a Euro angler, specifically, all the rigs, it's just a whole nother, for me, it's like a whole nother level, you know, when you look at that stuff, all the flavorings and stuff that goes into it. Was that how it was for you? All the different flavorings, very secretive and stuff like that for the Pale Lake stuff?
Yeah, same thing with the Pale Lake that is out in the wild. I mean, even though I'm sponsored by WCB, World Classic Baits, I'm a pro staff with them, and they got a lot of flavor, so it's not hiding, and I'm really showing people the flavor, and especially the ones that work well for me. And I do videos and stuff on YouTube and show them, you know, the different things that World Classic Bait has brought to my life. And I've changed a lot of people's way of looking at baits. It's good to go to the grocery store and get the Wheaties and, you know, and cornmeal and wheat germ and all the things they used to buy, and the Pale Lakers still do. And they do buy some of the commercial baits. And they're all at the Pale Lakes. All the commercials are there.
Oh, yeah.
But the flavors is where it gets really, really.
That's the thing, crazy. Isn't it? Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? In my mind, I think I've seen it. It's all flavor stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because they use a lot of chow and then they flavor the chow, and the whole thing is, what's the popular flavor? It's not what's the popular bait. It's the popular flavor. And, 1 year it'll be black walnut. The next year they won't even touch that black walnut because they got used to it. Like you said, they get smart.
Oh, yeah.
They get hooked with that flavor and they won't touch it again. So every year something new has to come out. In the UK, it's rigged. Here in the United States in the Pale Lakes, it's flavored.
Yeah, it's a flavoring. Isn't that funny how that works like that? I mean, have you obviously, changing from that Pale Lake style, going to a more Euro style? Oh, you fish a lot of boilies, boilie sessions, or are you primarily like particles, stuff like that? I mean, how do you normally fish a session? Everything, okay.
I use it all. I use the pack baits. I use the boilies, the corns, tiger nuts.
Yeah.
The whole gambit. Thing is where I'm fishing. Some places I've never seen a boilie. I won't introduce it if I'm there the first time, a boilie. I'll do with the field corn for chum, cooked field corn, use sweet corn on. Then you find what they like, then put a boilie out, put some boilies out. And the next time you come out, you may get one. The more times you put that boilie out, the more fish you're going to catch each time you go.
Yeah.
So I'm a boilie person now.
Yeah, okay.
I shoot a lot of boilies, a lot of tiger nuts. But boy, I'll go with the sweet corn and the field corn that's chum in a heartbeat.
Isn't it funny how so many people really lean on just old can of corn? Like, catches so many fish, doesn't it? It's fantastic. Now, are you looking at doing any tournaments over the next this coming, like, for next year, once kind of hopefully COVID stuff moves out of the way?
I'm under a verbal contract with World Classic Baits. I do have to make some tournaments.
Oh, well,
and
okay.
I will make some. I love them. So I miss them this year.
I think a lot of people did.
Do without them, I loved them,
Yeah.
But we've gotten by, and we've been going up to Lake Michigan quite a bit here lately.
Right. Okay. And, that's pretty close to you there. That's fairly close, isn't it?
It's not. And a 20 is the average pounds up there. And if you got one under 20, that's sometimes pretty rare, up there. So it's a lot of fun, but it's getting really cold up north. So we're heading south. We're just on the Indiana and Kentucky border. And it's going to be a beautiful weekend. And I've never fished this lake before. And I found it a couple months ago. And I sit on it one day for lunch. And I saw so many carp. And some nice ones. I'm not going to speculate on the size.
No, that's it. Well, you're going to catch them fairly soon by the sounds of it.
And it sounds like somebody threw a big old boulder in the water. That's a big fish,
Yeah,
so,
it is. Yeah.
Look, going down. I'm getting up about 5 o'clock tomorrow and coming home, packing, and leaving till Sunday.
Oh, fantastic! Well, you know what? I think you're going to do all right down there. It sounds like you're ready to rock and roll.
Oh, I am. We got corn pretty cooked. We got range cubes with molasses been soaking. Right. That's a little trade secret of mine. Regular cattle range cubes. Yep. You put molasses on them and stir them up and let that sit for 2 days. That molasses soaks in. It makes a little hard coating on the outside. Not sticky at all. As soon as you put it in the water, it just starts leaking that molasses, and then the range cube starts breaking down. It's great chum. Great chum.
I have to check that out myself.
Range cubes, cattle range cubes. With
molasses. I get those from the old Tractor Supply. I think I can get a bag of those.
Big water. It's a big water chum. I call that the range cubes. Because it takes about 30 minutes for the range cubes to break down. Right. So, you got plenty of time to do whatever you got to do before the fish really come in after it. But once they start, you got to keep chum. I'm going to write a song about chumming.
Yeah, you should write a book on it as well.
I wrote a rap song about Del Hollow.
Oh, blimey.
And yeah, it's one of those auto rap apps, where you just read a poem and it changes it to a rap song.
Oh, that's
it was
brilliant.
Not Del Hollow, yeah.
Oh, man, what memory. It sounds like you've obviously got some fantastic memories. And, I want to say, I appreciate you kind of taking the time out to share everything with us. I know it's obviously a huge passion for you, and the fact that you've been able to share that with so many people over the years is, I think part of it, isn't it? Really, it's kind of it makes it what
really
it is.
I mean, I love it, and you got I always give credit to David Moore with Big Carp Tackle before Big Carp Tackle days, and because when I met him, I saw the passion in him. And I wanted to be just like David Moore. I wanted to catch all these fish. And so that's when I joined CAG and became a state chairman and all that stuff, worked my way up the CAG. And I learned a lot from David Moore and Wayne Good. I mean, all those guys, I mean, outstanding anglers. Yeah. Wayne Boone and a good friend of mine in California. Yep. And I used to go to all these tournaments, and I met all these guys, and even to this date, I still hear from them, even though I haven't faced with them in 10 years.
It's a fantastic thing, the carp community. It's something that's just a different ballgame altogether. For whatever reason, it's as large as it is, it's still a very small world. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone is very, friendly and thankful for those friendships. I think, it's a great thing. That's one of the big things that I love about carp angling in general is that as big as the world is, carp angling, for some reason, it just brings people together, doesn't it?
It really does. And a little quick story about, I was doing a story about Pay Laker gone wild. It was a young fellow named Casey Joe, and he was a Pay Laker, and he wanted to go wild. So I brought this video, and we did some videos on it, and we caught tremendous amount of fish. But the one thing about it is that Pay Laker gone wild really, really touched it out. So with all my videos. So then one time, me and Casey was there down at Taylor Ford, and there was some anglers over on this big point on the other side. I thought they were catfishermen. All of a sudden, I see they start walking over this way. It's probably a half mile around the big loop and around to where we were. And Casey jumped up and said, "Hey, my name's Casey Joe." And they said their names. And when I said my name was Gilbert Huxley, oh my gosh, I felt like a rock star. There was this guy went off and saying, "Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to meet you for years. You're the reason why I'm in carp fishing and all that stuff." And boy, you talking about a big head of shoulders and everything, It really made me feel good, maybe I am, a rock star.
I think everyone is in their own right, but absolutely, I mean, for the US carp scene, I mean, I think, if you look, like you said, you look back in it and, you've done a lot for the carp community, whether it's in CAG or the rods you've built for people, that were built and sold to people, or even just kind of leading a direction for anglers that might not have known any better, in that respect. I think you've done a lot for that. So, from me and I think a lot of many other anglers, we really appreciate that,
Well, a lot of people shown appreciation by just saying thank you, Gilbert, for what you've done.
Yeah, that's it. It's brilliant. It's really, really cool to hear, and all just because of carp angling.
Yeah, over a carp angler, and there's still a lot of people negative about carp fishing here in the United States. So, but it's getting to a point where they're recognizing it as being a sport fish.
Yes, absolutely.
And I really believe, maybe not in my time, but there's going to be time where it's going to be taken out of the rough fish category and put it into the game or the sport fish.
Oh, I fully believe it. I mean, you got Sean Manning and Wayne Boone over at the American Carp Society, and the many guys that they've obviously got helping them kind of front that. It's along that with CAG, everything that they're portraying, they're putting that carp in general in such better light than it has ever been, and it's obviously creating a lot more awareness. It's not just about, like you said, not just about those pay lakes. It's not a rough fish. It's not a bottom feeder. They're a really special fish. There's a lot more to it, and that it's great to see, that happening here. So it's really, really great thing happening.
And it can happen because that the muskie was in the rough fish category at one time.
It was, wasn't it?
It was. Now look at it. It's a major game fish. Well sought after too.
Very sought after, aren't they?
Yes, and with pound to pound, there's not too many fish that can outfight the carp.
That's it. That's why they get so big too. Because once they get over a certain size, they get left alone. Nothing's going to bother them. They're the king of, other than, like you said, the big muskie, the big pike. But after that, once carp get to a certain size, nothing's bothering them. They're king of the lake, aren't they? You
heard of a guy named Al Linder, right?
Al Linder.
Al Linder had a show on TV. He made a statement that the carp was the world's greatest sport fish. And he caught a lot of flack for it, him being a bass or walleye guy. He said, I'm not saying that they're better fishing for any other game fish. I'm saying is that you can actually catch those fish any place in the world.
Yeah.
So that's where he was getting the world's greatest sport fish, only because of the availability to every single angler in every single state and every single country. So here, they've been ignored. And so he brought that out. So, and I use that in my seminars about the world's greatest fish. Yeah, and a lot of people, they've heard about Linder, so it's really been a really good high point in some of my seminars was talking about what some of the professional bass and walleye anglers are saying about the carp.
Oh, yeah. It's becoming noticed, isn't it? Yeah.
Bill Dance knows it.
Yeah.
Bill Dance fishes for him. I mean, I talked to him personally.
Yeah.
And, he was raised with the bass scene, but he said there was nothing more fun than catfish and carp fishing at night.
There you go.
He's right. Bass don't bite at night much. These are crappie or bluegills. So.
What else is there to go for but the carp and the cats, huh? Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Jeez. Oh, fantastic. We really appreciate you taking the time out, your personal time to talk to us and kind of share some memories with us. Very special.
Anytime. And if anyone ever wants to a question answered here in the United States, I'm on Facebook. Send me a message. It's easy to get a hold of me. Just do it. I'll hook up and tell you anything you need to know.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thanks ever so much, Gilbert. We really appreciate it, and we'll speak to you soon.
Well, thank you so much. And you guys say tight lines. I say keep the slack out.
Yeah, there you go.
You have a good one now.
Take care, Gilbert. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye-bye.
On behalf of the Big Carp News podcast, we'd like to give a big thank you to Gilbert Huxley for taking the time out and sharing some of his past moments along with his current passions for carp angling with us. For more upcoming episodes of the Big Carp News podcast, written articles, product reviews, and much, much more, be sure to check out the Big Carp News website over at www.bigcarp.news. Also, don't forget to check out bigcarptackle.com for all your carp fishing needs right here in the USA. And as always, thanks for listening. Stay safe and stay carpy.